Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a coffee talk. Good morning, Sunday, the 25th of June, from the left side of the Atlantic.
From the correct side of the Atlantic, it's Pilgrim with his Tank Museum mug. Don't
Ah,
forget. We just got to tell you something. Don't forget.
yeah, I'm going to tell you something. I've already forgotten what it was.
Yeah, there's a live stream going on of a Tank Fest.
7:30, guys, help me remember. At 7:30, everybody needs to tune in, at least from my math and what the article said. 7:30 Central Time should be the start of it. Stickler, thanks, man. Welcome, everybody. We got a lot of people in here already. We got who we got?
Yeah,
We got
already. We're up
Mr.
early.
Davey. Yeah, okay, go get your coffee, man. I've got a Sumatra blend. You've got your tea, I'm assuming.
I have my Royal Blend, sir, freshly brewed in the last 20 minutes or so. I've got
Oh,
a spare one on the go for when we do the half-time break.
oh, excellent, excellent. That's
So,
what,
yeah, I'm prepared.
very prepared. We got Stickler,
Yeah.
Bonzi. Who else is here? Fast Red Horse, Randall Green, Gator, Odd Dogs in the house, and the resub from Stickler. Thanks, man. Appreciate it very much. Let's see, where are we? What am I saying? Channel news.
Channel news.
Channels.
That'd be
I
good.
painted a fence yesterday.
You didn't.
I did too, and I think I
You
might.
actually went out and painted a fence.
I did.
So I'm glad I'm sat down, Colonel.
And I may even. Ain't no one else around here doing any damn work. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
It was about 10.7 billion degrees, approximately,
Yes, of
give or
course.
take a few.
Give or take.
Yeah.
Hotter than the sun.
Yep. And I got my buddy loaned me the little automatic sprayer, electric, whatever.
Oh, okay. All right. So you did it. He did it American style, not British with a brush.
Well, that's the story because I ended up with the
Oh.
brush. This piece of
Did
shit
you?
was nothing but
Yeah.
couldn't get it to spray straight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Couldn't keep the front thing from unscrewing itself constantly. Couldn't keep paint in the little tiny bowl. Oh man, what a nightmare! That thing overspray freaking everywhere,
Wow.
even with
So
drop cloths.
So you've got plants now coloured the same as the fence.
Yeah, I got white plants, I got white grass. So I did that for about an hour fighting with that thing and said, "F this."
Yeah.
Cleaned it out, put it away, got the brush out, and continued on as you do.
With the brush. There you
Still-
go. You just knew you should have started with it in the first place. don't
Stiff upper lip and.
you? Yeah. As a quick aside, we'll come back to the painting.
Okay.
In a moment. As a quick aside, did you know that Discord now has an open soundboard?
I have
So
no
you
idea
click
what
on
that
it,
means.
you-
Number one, I did
well,
not.
what
Number two, I have no idea what that means.
Right. What it is you can have sounds play in the channel that you're on.
Ah,
So you click on it, you select a sound. So like a Steam Deck, really,
yeah.
but in Discord. So and you can also pre-record stuff. So I'm so tempted now to press the button and let it go. You know what I mean? Because it'll just go in your ears only. You won't. Nobody else will hear it.
Actually,
Just me.
I think they will hear it because I'm using the Discord sound. Maybe.
That one.
Yeah. Did you guys hear that? Did you hear the horn? You're gonna have to wait a few seconds because of the delay. Yeah. So it's coming from you. So
Yeah.
I'm recording whatever. Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Love it.
Oh boy. So.
Sorry.
So this is apparently a monster we're not going to be able to contain at this point.
Nope. It's only a trial at the moment, so it won't last forever.
Trial basis, trial basis.
Too loud, says Mr. Davey. Sorry.
What is up already? What is up? Really?
Let me have a quick look.
Oh no, yeah,
Nice.
starting soon actually. So
Yeah.
it's got a 25-minute pre-roll, but you can click
Yeah.
on it and get in there, and I bet that time counts. Does the
It might
time
do,
does the
25
time
minutes, yeah,
count?
it might do. Yeah, it
Since
might
it's
do.
since it's technically streaming right now, I wonder if the pre-roll counts. That's pretty funny. I bet it does. Sly says yes. Interesting.
Oh, does it?
Actually, it does. Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
So the I can see that the. Actually, no.
Why
Wait a
can you
minute.
do this right the way through this?
Wait a minute, I'm looking
Sorry.
at the wrong thing. I was watching a Diablo stream earlier, and that's what it thinks it is. So no, it does not appear to be timing its stuff right now. So for whatever reason, the pre-roll doesn't matter. That's kind of interesting, actually.
You would think though, because it's streaming, isn't it? Even
Yeah.
if it's streaming in the
How does-
background or whatever.
How does it
Oh,
know?
drop,
I
don't
guess
stop.
I guess they could. Yeah, they could probably set that. Yeah, they can probably set that. They've got an account that probably allows them to build all that crap. So anyway, painted a fence, and I only got about 2/3 of one side done before I started to melt.
Really, it was that
Yeah.
hot.
Oh
you
my
just
god, it was
couldn't
just
do it.
horrible. It was horrible. So
Are you hitting like 87 degrees, something like
yeah,
that?
we
eh?
hit low 90s yesterday, I believe.
Whoa,
with
'cause
significant
we're hitting
humidity.
31 Celsius, which is, I guess, is high 80s in
Yeah.
Fahrenheit. So
Yeah.
I feel your pain, brother.
Yeah, so I'll have to get back out there.
Have you got it? Oh, is it cooler today?
Problem with the roller, Wayne? No, it's the same temperature. The problem with the roller is the way I've built the fence. It's not very useful. I guess I could get one of the short ones. I thought about that, but you know what that requires is another daggone trip to.
Well, it's
To
not
the store.
doable by just going to the shed, is it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't just go to your shed, get your stuff, do your job. You've got to go out, do something, drive the vehicle, blah blah.
I may have to do that anyway because I just realized I left the paintbrush on the porch, and I'm not sure I remembered to clean the whole thing because I was putting everything away, and then we had to go somewhere. So I may
Yeah,
have
it'll be
I may
solid
have
now.
I may have a half. I got most of it out, but I didn't do the full cleaning, so I don't know. We'll see what that brush looks like. Crickets in my head.
Sorry, I won't keep doing it. Yes, I will.
I'll stop. No, I'm not going to stop.
Yeah.
Pilgrim's gone next week and the week after. If anybody out there in listening land wants to come by and help host Coffee Talk, let me know. Give me a message. Love to have you. That'd be fun. If any of you guys wants to chat.
Yeah,
And
you
then
don't
there-
need a face. You don't need a face. You just
That's
need
true.
a voice.
You don't have to be on camera. You can just do the voice if you want. It is hot, Wayne. It is hot.
Just to go back to last week while we're here, Guido, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Tarry won the month supply of tea. That's been dispatched. I don't know if he's in at the moment, but I'll have to repeat myself when he comes in, because he's blocked his whispers again. He had pre-blocked whispers. Anyway, long story cut short. 1st of July, Tarry. 1st of July, the 30 days worth of tea will land on your doorstep, sir.
What, Davey?
Anyway.
What was Tom Sawyer's technique? I don't remember. Did he just chuck the paint at it out of the can or something? I know.
Somebody else to do it.
I know. Is that what it was? He talked his buddy into do it or something? I don't remember the story. I mean, I remember Tom Sawyer and he was painting a fence. Was a big important delegation. There you go. All right, Chubby's
There you
got
go.
it.
You got somebody else to do
Pilgrim.
it. Yeah.
Pilgrim's got it. Yeah.
Pilgrim will come over and paint your fence for you. Not your face, your fence.
I don't need my face painted.
Not white.
All right, 100 Battle Challenge. I am currently on the FV 201. Just one marked that and 40-something battles. Chrysler K, Foshby, and the Iron Arnie, as well as a couple others, actually. I did yesterday. You know what I did yesterday is
What did you do yesterday?
after I got frustrated playing the game. We were discussing this before we came live here, guys. Is how I am currently in a down streak. Let me just put it that way. I won't. Will I blame matchmaking? Yes, let's do that. Let's just blame everything but myself. But personally, I am in a slump. My last 100 battles, I'm at 47% win rate.
Yeah.
Above 2,000 win 8, but just not winning. So bad. It's been bad, and the teams just incredible. Just the most
You see,
insane
well,
stuff.
I think let's break this down a little bit, Guido, because there's a million things you could put into that, but you've had a fairly substantially good run, prior to
Yeah.
this. You're now in this slump, but I think there's a whole world of things going on here. I think that there is an element of game balance which is somehow in the game. I think. And it probably actually will call me out as a liar because you've got so many super unicorns, purple players, and all that sort of stuff. But I think the game tries to balance our games out. That you can't have somebody win all the time because you're dependent on 14 other people.
Well,
So I think it likes the middle ground. The game likes the middle
I
ground.
don't. I don't think the game consciously does anything like that. I think the game design does that on its own.
Okay.
But that being said, I think my so where I would say that is kind of true is in the complete lack of balance in the game.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't think they made a lack of balance in a lot of the tanks, auto loaders, high alpha, all this stuff. I don't think they made that consciously to keep everything kind of in the 50%
Centralized.
region, but it
Yeah,
just
yeah.
works out that way. That's what that kind of stuff does. You know, when you
Yeah.
have a tomato running around with 1,000 alpha or 750 alpha and all these auto loaders, all they got to do
Yeah.
is get kind of lucky every now and again, and they can take down even good players, or at least cripple their capability to affect the battle with ridiculous
Yeah.
auto loaders and high alpha crap.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
yeah.
to what Banzai was saying, in an oblique reference to that, if you like, as an aside to it, it becomes manipulated by the structure of the game. I'm not saying that the game itself is AI and it's balancing it all out. I think the way the game is, as you're saying there, the game is designed. It's like its default position is that. So
Well, that yeah, it's the nature of the
period
way.
good.
Yeah, it's the nature of the way the game is built and the amount of random RNG dispersion. The game mechanics themselves create an enormous amount of randomness that even
Yeah.
good players can't completely control. So
Yeah.
good players control it more, bad players control it less, but it affects both sides quite a bit.
Yeah.
That you're challenged to be a good player is to minimize how much it affects you. But even as you do that, you can get frustrated because you can get an unlucky streak, which can
Yes.
go on for a
Yeah.
while, and it can be
Yeah.
exacerbated. You can call it unlucky. Also, you're not playing well. There's so much that goes into it, but still,
Well,
it's
yeah.
there, right? It's
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
and you can be playing really well and just have one little random thing happen. You know, a non-pen, a dispersion miss, even though you did everything right or whatever, take you out of the game. And if you get some of those together, all of a sudden you're in a kind of a slump. And I'm playing okay in the last 100 battles, but not as good as I usually do. Usually I'm in the 25 to 2800
Yes.
win 8, and now in
Yeah.
those 107 I'm at 2000, which is still pretty damn good.
But it's not where you
Contextually,
used to be, so you feel like you've dropped.
right? Contextually, in my body of work and overall, it's still good compared to the vast majority of players. But the less every time that goes down another 100 win 8,
Yeah.
technically every 1 point, but
Yeah.
large enough sample size. But every time it goes down, you are less affecting or less effective in affecting a win
Yes.
for your team.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that gets real frustrating if you're used to a certain amount of success, and then you start, I don't know. And
It's also tied into team balance, as you say. If you get, because they can't take into account, because it's not skill based, effectively, they can't take into account that your team is full of new players, tomatoes, whatever you want to call them. And
Yeah,
the
it's
other
not
team has
completely
all
not
the
in
top
there, yeah.
players in the game. You know what I mean?
well, and it gets frustrating
So-
too because of the balance of tanks, and also to some extent Matchmaker. My beef with Matchmaker, and I've seen this lately a lot, and again, it's anecdotal. I don't know if I don't have any data for it, but I have seen on my teams and on other teams a situation, and I think it's from the low population of NA, especially in the mornings when I play. You'll get teams that'll have 4 tier 8s, and one team will have 4 heavies, and the other team will have 3. And I've seen that more than I have in the past.
Yeah.
And often it'll stack that differently, but at a lower tier. You're like, okay, great. I have a lower tier. I have 1 extra heavy. I mean, that's nice, but it doesn't really make up. And I'm not saying all heavies are created equal, and maps matter, and the player, and I get it. All that stuff is in there, but it is a bummer when you look up there and you go, shit. I'm on Himmelsdorf or Ruenberg, and they have 4 good heavies.
Yeah.
Not good as in player, but those are good tanks.
Good
I got
tanks,
the KV5 and the OHO
Yeah.
and myself and a medium. Like frick.
Yeah.
Well, we're already in a hole here. Yeah, you got to play the game. You got to figure it out. Do your best. Try to win. Maybe the mediums carry the day with mobility. I got it. All that stuff. But from the very beginning, you look at the matchup and go, shit. We're already on the back foot here in terms of team build. Or you see the game where one team has 3 Skoda T56s.
Yes.
And your team doesn't have any, or it has 2 BZ 176s, and you don't have. You're like, Why can't
Yeah.
you just slide when you look at the how well some of these tanks do? Why can't you just slide one of the
Yeah.
tanks that
Yeah.
performs really well so that you don't
Yeah.
have two BZ-76s and I have two IS-6s? I'm like,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, that was like my very last game before I came on stream. What was it? The one with the big lake valley, the Valley of Death, the Valley of the Noobs, and all
Yeah.
that map. Anyway, the makeup was 4 heavies either side, but they had 4 tier 9 heavies. We had 3 tier 9 and me in a tier 8.
Right.
And you're like, well, right, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm the only tier 8 heavy. Fortunately, I was in the T832, so I was effective because my armor, my top armor was sufficient that I was bouncing a lot, but it could have gone either way. I think
Yeah.
we won that, but it could have gone either way because they had the extra bit of muscle in town, and you're
Yeah.
like,
And it does. It tries to mirror, and that's why I mentioned, when I play and it's a low population density. Sometimes it just, in order to get the games out fast enough, it just has to take what it's got, and it doesn't have a lot of time to
Yeah.
wait. So it's one thing to say, oh, matchmaker should do this, that, and the other. It can do anything you want it to do. The question is, how much time do you want to futz around and code? But anyway, regardless of all that, which is understood completely, the background of it is 100%. It is frustrating when you spawn in and you see this. You're looking at the tanks, especially top tier, and you're like, oh my god, this is horrible. Or your top tier wanders off and protects
it
Artie.
does something weird, yeah.
Protects Art. Your T57, your tier 10 heavy goes. I saw this, goes back into the back, sits in the back corner on Cliff, right on the one line. And can we all agree that there's an epidemic on the south spawn on Cliff of one line camping?
Yes, absolutely. It's
Holy
it's a
crap! How many?
Yeah.
Almost every game, without exaggerating, it seems like the majority of my games, 1/3 to half the team is down on the southwest
Yeah,
corner.
given.
If I'm on the south spawn, camping the one
Yeah.
line, like they
Yeah.
don't want to climb up the the
yeah.
ramp because they get shot or they're scared or I don't know what.
And it's a
Holy
conscious decision
shit.
to move there. It's not like I don't know. I can't imagine that they've won games and they decided that's the place for me because I win the game from here. It's a conscious decision just to sit there and be an absolute twat.
Yeah, Bonzi, it should be okay. It was actually hunting a little bit there with the stream, but it seems to have solidified. So, watch the guy play some Diablo. They had no idea what they didn't know, then projected that 2-watt, and the heavy guarding already made sense. Is that me? You talking about me?
I did watch your second edition of your Diablo
Yeah.
adventures, and I didn't realise you got other players going in. You said there's a little moniker above people's heads.
Yeah,
as a player.
Actually, I think you can run into them in the world. So in the cities especially, are common, whatever they call them, I don't know, common areas. But I've also seen them out in the wilderness. But I think most, if not all, the dungeons are instanced, which
Right,
means
okay.
that's just you that's in there. I've never run into one in the dungeon. I don't know if
See,
there might be. So every once in a while, somebody rolls along and helps me kill stuff. But
Right.
from what I can tell,
Because you went in and absolutely mullered all these nasties while the other geezer was just standing there watching you do it. I was like,
Yeah.
well, aren't you going to help him?
Yeah.
Aren't you going to help him, mate?
well, I think what the stuff they drop is only for you. But from what I can tell, they don't.
Oh,
There's
you
no
don't see-
stealing.
oh.
Yeah, there's no stealing drop unless you're in a team. I guess
Right.
you could do it in a team. I think if it's a team, whoever picks it up or what. I haven't done any of the PvP stuff. But back to what Cliffy's saying is just so everyone's crystal clear on this. I don't care. my journey with Diablo is just learn it on the fly, right?
Yeah.
And when I make the videos, yep, I am absolutely gonna not know what I'm doing, because that's the point.
Yeah.
That is a game that I want to. I'm on easy level. I do not care. I am just gonna wait. Even on easy level, I've managed to die a few times. Usually, when I get so busy clicking attacks that I forget to heal. Almost none of my deaths, because on easy level, it's whatever. They will mob you, and if you're not careful, they can knock your hit points down and kill you. But I've never run out of potions because it's easy mode. There's, if you
Easy
if you
mode.
just stay on
Do you
top of it
respawn with everything on you? Do you respawn, or do you have to
on
start again?
on easy mode, you lose 10% durability on your weapons, and then you have
Okay.
to get them fixed. It costs you a little bit of money. I don't
But
know.
you've still got all your bits on you, all your...
Absolutely. On the
Alright.
Iron Man or murder mode or whatever it's called, you die, and you're actually dead. Like you don't,
okay,
you
you
can't.
start
Your character goes bye bye.
Wow. Wow, that is hard.
Yeah,
If
is it
that
hardcore?
happens,
What's it called
oh,
in
yeah.
Diablo? Hardcore, I think, or no, Nightmare.
Nightmare mode.
It's Nightmare mode, right? Cliffy will know. I think it's Nightmare mode. But so I have learned some stuff on that. I mentioned, I'm like, I don't understand how I use these other weapons. Like, how do you set these up? And I did look that up. So I will go for outside info if something's really stumping me or I'm just curious. So I'm not saying I'm just purely learning from just myself. So what I found out with that, both from a video that was confusing and then kind of watching it and then paying attention to the skills, is that for the barbarian, he carries 3 different weapons. Well, it depends on the skill or the attack he's using. So he will use all 3 depending on what you use as a skill.
So you don't select the weapons. Oh, you do.
You do. How would you say it? Tangentially, by the skill you pick. It uses the skills use the weapon that are assigned to it, and then you carry all. There's 4 weapons. You carry all 4, and then whatever skill you use uses that appropriate weapon. You're really good. Good at taking them out and hitting people because you can almost do it.
It's quite. I like the fact that that your character will draw its weapons when it gets into the baddie area.
Yeah.
It's quite cool, that, you know what I mean? Because that tells you straight away that there's something coming up.
Yeah, that you're not in the
That's
safe
quite
zone.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's 4 world tiers. I finally found that in the main city, the whatever the main city is. I call it the main city. It's the main city I've found. There's a place that you can change the world tiers. I've left it at the lowest level just because I'm just bombing around trying to learn.
See, I'm so tempted now to go and get the platform that it's on, download the game, because it's not on Steam, it's on something else, isn't it? And,
you'll strengthen your left clicking and your right clicking
Will it?
finger.
Is it like
oh
that?
my god, it's like it's just a
I'm just so tempted so I can run in behind you and find Guido the Barbarian and slap the back of your head. Run past and go, "Help, Guido!"
There was so the other thing I figured out, I'm like, all right, it's got this skill tree, and it's standard act. When you first look at these things, it always seems completely complicated. You're like, oh my god, I want to figure this out. And then after you play a while, you start to figure out what's what and how things work to some extent. And then I was looking at it, and I started picking these cool skills because, again, I'm not going to pay any attention to builds or anything. I'm just going to make a guy. I don't care. Good news is it does let you reset, which is cool. I don't know how long. I'm wondering if there's a point at which you're stuck, but for now it still says I can reset. So apparently I can get rid of all my skill points and then reallocate them, which I may do fairly soon, because I started picking these other skills that looked cool, and I realized that I'm like, how do I make these work? I need more skill bars, and in the older versions you actually had multiple versions of your skill bar where you could do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
You get 6. That's it. 6.
Oh, is it? All right.
6.
So if you haven't got, so that's it.
Yep, you got 1 set to a left button, 1 set to the right button, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's it. That's all you get. So you can use the other skills, but you have to reassign them, and then whatever one you take out, you can't use anymore. So you got to kind of decide what your plan of action is going to be.
Right, but it goes with the character. So I guess if the character is a type of character, then the skill set that goes.
That's skill. Your skill tree is
is
different. Yeah, your skill tree is yours,
Yeah,
and if you're a necromancer or a sorcerer or whatever the other ones are, then you get a different skill tree.
We probably need to get back to tanks at some point.
Is that what we're doing?
I thought it was Diablo talk.
I'm trying to become a Diablo CC. I'm pretty much. I'm pretty much the expert on that game at this point.
Like that other game where you went punching the horses. That's good.
Yeah. I liked. There's one quest that I enjoyed. There's this like kind of spicy, saucy. I guess she's a sort of a nun or whatever, mother or whatever she is. And she's like
the woman in the cathedral.
No, it's a different one. She's like a rebel, right? And she's like exorcising
Okay.
demons and helping the townsfolk and stuff. So I've enjoyed that little storyline. Every time I see her little things show up, I go help her out, and we've kicked the butt out of some demons and stuff. That one's one of the more memorable ones. All right, let's move on to tanks again.
Let's move back to tanks.
Let's see. Next stream, I don't know, folks. We're still trying to get out of channel news at this point. I think that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. So what that means is, time to shill.
Time to shell.
Good news.
Good news, Guido.
Good news, actually.
Share the good news, sir.
I mean, it's a small thing, but the small victories are the ones that you want to celebrate. You know what I'm saying?
Of course you do. It makes the day seem a little bit brighter.
Why is this? Oh, not camera. All right, what's happening here? Hold on. I think it's the sun from yesterday has affected my brain.
Probably.
Yeah.
Far too much sun.
I think I was a little heat stress yesterday. All right, here we go. The premium shop has been ordered in a strange way in terms of that it makes sense.
Yes. It's become almost logical.
Yeah, I don't know who did this over there, but they probably need to watch out because this is not the way that Wargaming does things.
No, it's not. It's not organised like this normally.
The
I can
chieftain
see a sacking coming on.
Look at the chieftains are all together, and it starts with the cheapest and goes to the most expensive. That is right out, boy. You're not gonna dupe people into buying the most expensive one in that manner. The MBT. Nicely in a row. Look at that. All the way to the most expensive, least expensive to most expensive. Both good tanks, by the way. The Progetto, same thing. Same thing.
Yeah.
Nicely in a row. All right, also a good tank. Until we get down to... Wah, 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 wah. They tried, at least. We're good on the FCM. There we go. The 7501 is randomly in there.
Yeah.
This one is in the good order, but then these two guys are down here. They're not in the right place. So anyway,
they're all over the place, aren't they? Yeah. But there was a good first attempt. That's what we can say. Good first attempt.
Yeah. Is this chaos theory that random order somehow just spontaneously engaged itself out of randomness? It's very possible.
Maybe it was an RNG effect. Maybe.
I mean, this sort of looks on purpose, but you never know. These are intelligences unknown to me, you guys.
Do you think it was one guy working on it? The boss leaned over his shoulder, saw what he was doing, slapped him on the back of the head, and got the old guy back and said, "Sort that bottom half out the way it's supposed to be, not all logical like that."
Put the expensive stuff on top. Randomly put the cheapest one somewhere down below there somewhere.
Yeah, or on another page even. You know.
I don't know. Good on them. Good on them. So, for a brief shining moment, there is a semblance of order in the shop.
What's top of the list? Well, not top of the list. Go beyond the special styles because we all want them and the paints. What's top of the list, Guido?
The Proto.
Over there.
Thanks for the follow, Fana UK. Welcome.
The tank that is going to break the game again.
It's going to break the game again. That thing's been out for a while, though.
It has, but it hasn't been. I can't remember. I don't know if I've got it actually. I won't have it. I won't have it yet, will I?
What was it, guys? Was this a box?
Was it? It was some sort of competition type thing. I don't think people have got it, have they?
Fast Red Horse. I have it.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah, it was a marathon or something, I believe.
Yeah, I might have it then. It
was a box reward. There you go. Bonzi's got it. It was a box. Waffentrug and loot box. Fast Red Horse, is it worth it? Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good tank.
Break the game.
Let's take a look at what it's doing right now. Let's cruise over to Watt.gg, see what the actual numbers show. It's a start anyway. This is not the end-all be-all of whether it's good, but it's a place to start. You come in here, you sort by that, you go, where does it live? It's not bad. There's, what, top 6 in DPG. What's its win rate? Same thing, roughly, frags. So it's not exactly challenging the concept for mastery, but it's not bad. Let's put it that way. Now, what it does do, good turret. Wayne has a good point. If you have patience, Zemke has a good point. It gives you bonds and credits, I believe.
Yeah.
Bonds and credits and crew experience. So it is a super premium. Am I wrong about the credits? I don't think I am.
8 seconds to Tank Fest.
8 seconds to Tank Fest. Let's find out. We're going to look at this.
But that's true. What Zemke's saying, it's not a frontline, but people think it's the Chieftain, the T95. It's not. It is a good support tank. It's a little bit like the old Leopard, or the Leopard 1, or the Leopard Proto, whatever it's called, Tier 9. You play it back a little bit, use its turret, you get some good games out of it, I think.
So I was correct. Experience, credits, bonds, and obviously the crew. So it's a Tier 9 that makes bonds. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not a big tier 10 person, it's a premium at Tier 9, so it makes extra credits. So that helps keep you in credits, right? Because it's making extra, and you get the bonds. So really, if you don't have a tank that's a Tier 9, one of these super premiums, I guess you might call them a Tier 9 premium, which is what they most of them make bonds if it's a premium. Then yes, it might be worth it to you to grab one of those if you don't already have one. In terms of being a good tank, it's good, not amazing. Go ahead, Pilgrim.
Not amazing, but it is playable. It's very much Leopard 1 playable. But again, I would add the caveat that if you're going to get it, it's going to cost you $50-odd.
Yes.
You know, it's not cheap. It's not cheap to buy. Even standard. I mean, if you want to go for the packages, you start to spend big money.
Was it only 50? I thought it was more than that. Was it? I thought
Well,
it was 60.
It's £43, so I just thought it was like between 50 and 60.
Yeah, you're right. 56. Yep, dead on.
$56,
yep.
right?
And 77 cents.
You know, but if you're in the game to buy a Tier 9 premium tank, or a premium tank that you want to get bonds and credits for, and you want to spend $50-60, and you can spend $50-60, it's not a bad shout to do it, I think. Yep. You know, maybe the AMBT is an option, but I, between the two, I don't know. I'd probably go for the Chieftain, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize that. Cliffy says some of that goes to the museum. Is that true? That's cool. All right.
Oh, I didn't know that. No, that's cool.
All right. So that's all that stuff as far as what's for sale. I didn't see anything else real special in here, guys. Let's go look at the specials just for a second. I think it's all the same stuff. There's Tank Fest. I know that. I'm pretty sure this stuff actually helps to go support. Is that pretty bad?
Yeah, I think if you buy the styles and things like that, it
doesn't really say that.
Well. Doesn't tell you, does it?
Yeah, it doesn't really say that. Maybe it's in the article. I don't know. But there are some styles that are tied to the Tank Fest thing. These are all the same tanks we just talked about. Yeah, nothing much else going there. All right, as far as specials and stuff go, it is Tank Fest. We have Tank Fest weekend, which is nice. Unlike Father's Day that was ignored.
Yeah. That's hurt you, hasn't it?
Yeah, it is.
That's wounded you deeply.
Yep. I'm angry. I'm mad. I'm mad.
Yeah.
Let's see. So there's a couple missions. There's one just straight up mission, and then I think one of them is daily. So I think you can do another one of them today. Vehicle discounts. I wanted to talk about this. Oh, there's also a XP convert XP 1 to 35. Wait, what? What? Extra high? I thought it was one. I thought the high one was 1 to 40. Did they just?
Yeah, I thought it was 1 to 40.
Did they just change that on us? When's
it
it ever?
Used to be 1 to 40.
When has it ever been 1 to 25?
Never heard that.
What am I missing? Am I completely out to lunch, guys? I thought it was 35 and 40 they usually use.
35 and 40. I remember it being 35 on the last one, because we all moaned that it wasn't the 40. 1 to 40, 1 to 35.
1 to 25 is normal?
Yeah. Normal, yeah.
Oh, right, normal. Yeah. Without. Oh, okay. Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, which nobody basically does. They wait for the special.
Yeah.
Extra high. Okay, extra high from normal. All right, I'll buy that. But 1 to 40 is the really good deal. Yeah. Super extra, extra high.
extra. But you've got to have Watt Plus to get that.
Do you?
No.
No. If you don't have Watt, maybe that's why my RNG is bad. Conspiracy theory time.
Yeah, you haven't got
I'm
Watt
gonna
Plus.
have
You
to
need
buy
to
Watt Plus.
subscribe.
I am being actively punished by Wargaming because I don't have Watt Plus.
See, it doesn't count for low lifes like me. Because you're a CC, you're supposed to have Watt Plus to shill. Because you haven't, they're doing you in. They don't care about me. I mean, I'm nothing.
So because I'm a CC, then I get punished more than the regular people.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you're not selling their product to anybody, are you?
I'm not doing nothing for nobody.
And Tom Sawyer, you can paint your own fence there, mate.
God, I need a fence painter. And I ain't even kidding. I wanted to note this, guys. 50% off some of these smaller premiums, which is a pretty good deal. I mean, they're tier 5s or whatever. This was what's fascinating to me. There are 3 British tanks. 2 of them are on the Russian tech tree.
Yeah. Yeah, but they were because it was like a form of land lease, wasn't it? Remember?
Yeah. They're not on the tech tree, but these are available through the tech tree, I think is what I was really trying to say right there.
Yeah.
Which is to say, if you go to the tech tree, my friends, you can go to the Risky. You get down here and you do the old Paparino up, and you can get the Churchill and the Matilda right here at 50% off. Gold. So if you got some gold lying around, you really have a hankering. Now, I will say, this one, the 3045, if you don't have this and you got some gold laying around, I highly and you like tier 6 at all, absolutely get the 3045. That thing is an absolute beast.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the original tank that broke the game, I think. Very close to it.
There's so many.
Yeah, there's so many. I think that was the first.
There is a Tiger 1 and Panther challenge, which goes to let's see, you're doing it prime time June 25th, 16th to the 25th. Oh, it's over today. I guess that's been going on for a while. You got to play 10 games, and it's time gated in NA, which is annoying as hell.
God, isn't it just when it's like that?
They're trying to stop people from doing the shenanigans in the low population times in the mornings and stuff. But the bummer is,
but I've just told you this morning. I play most of my games in the low pop times because that suits me. Because 4 o'clock in the morning for you is mid morning for me. So on a Saturday or a Sunday, I'll do half a dozen games.
What's funny is what a crock of shit it is. Prime time over on the Pacific Coast is 9 in the morning to 9 at night.
Yeah.
That's hardly prime time.
No.
For Central, it's 11 to 11. For Eastern, it's noon to midnight, which is okay. I mean, at least those two are I kind of get it. But Pacific time, calling prime time 9 in the morning to 9 in the evening. Whatever.
Most people get in from work, let's say 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. They then have the dinner. They do they fuss around, whatever, and they'll come to the game around about 8 to 9 o'clock in the evening if they are going to put some time in. So you only get like 20 minutes of gaming that accounts, and then it's finished.
Yeah. But anyway, those are available. These premiums right here are actually pretty good. Yeah, Madam Yorktown, I do remember that. I raged up the German line when I first got in because I wanted to play the Mighty Tiger and the Tiger 2. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know what was
I did it with the T29 as well. We all did that, didn't we?
The absolute most
T29.
Yeah, the absolute most disappointing tank in this game in terms of historical significance and interest, and in terms of the way it's in the game. What do you think is the most disappointing tech tree tank from World War II?
From World War II?
Disappointing in the game.
Oh, in the game?
Yeah.
Shermans.
Yeah, those not bad. Yeah. What's it for you guys? What's the most disappointing? Easy 8. Stoic says okay. I kind of like the Easy 8. I didn't have any beef with the Easy 8. I thought it kind of was good in terms of doing Easy 8 stuff. All of them suffered because they saw higher tiers of things that just beat on them. But I'm talking just a tank that just you thought was going to be mighty and was just
Well, Cliffy says
mediocre.
Tiger by far. I sort of
Okay,
agree with that.
that's close, but it wasn't the Tiger for me. I actually kind of liked the Tiger. No one's going to agree with me. That's interesting. I thought it was the Panther. I thought the Panther in the game was just an absolute letdown. I just thought I got to the Panther. I'm like, awesome Panther tank. This is going to be cool, and it was horrible. Panther.
See,
just,
the thing is with the Panther historically, it was engined by Porsche. And it had a whole host of problems in real life with its engine management because the Porsche engine just didn't do it. It was supposed to be faster, and it had the same gun as the Tiger. So the fact that it broke down more times than the Tiger did made the Tiger the better tank in the war.
did it have the same gun as the Tiger? I don't think it did.
Did it not have the 88 mil?
I don't. Or does it have the short 88? Maybe in the. I'm
I
talking
could be
about in the
sure, I don't
game.
know.
I'm talking more or less in the
All right,
game. I don't.
in the games.
What does it get? Problem is, the best gun in terms of gameplay is that super long, stupid 76 or whatever that thing is,
Yeah, it is.
with just no 70. Yeah. Yeah, it does. See, yeah, there's no 88 available for the thing. You got a 10 centimeter
Okay.
derp. You got a 7.5, which I think was its main armament, but it just does no damage.
Yeah, like Gate was saying, it's 100 damage. Takes too many shots to kill anything.
Yeah. Now, obviously, the tiering system hurts any tank, so that's just something you got to deal with. The tier 6 versions, the premium tier 6 Panther versions are good. The Breton, the whatever the other one is. I like those. I think that's where it fits. But as a tier 7, it's just a massive disappointment. Yeah, the Poodle, that's it, Chubby. There you go. Churchills were let down from Adam Yorktown.
Well, the Poodle was absolutely hyped up by Wargaming. You get a dog with it and all that sort of good stuff, you know what I mean? And it turned out to be
But the Cromwell's more mobile, right? It's more,
Yeah.
smaller for one thing, so harder to hit in terms of just the human interface trying to click on it. So a little bit harder to hit, a bit faster, more maneuverable. So that's what you want when you're going to have the little pew pew gun. You got to be able to get around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it ever had an 88. If it did, it might.
Oh, okay. I stand corrected. I
Or
thought
is
Panther
that
was an 88.
the Panther 2? Yeah, the Panther 2.
Did that have the 88?
It's got the 80. I totally forgot about the Panther 2. Yeah, that's the tier 8. So that's where you can put the short and the longer. I think 88 on it.
Okay.
I forgot all about the Panther 2. All right, cool. Are we still shilling, or where are we? We're still shilling.
We're still shilling, yeah.
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 What else
I
we
think
got?
we are, anyway.
Well, we were just talking about specials, and we got kind of off on Panther 2 talk. Steel Hunter is still being reborn. Yes, thank you. Well done. Back on track. That's the audience happy that we're getting back on track.
That's it.
Gator, the Brett is funnerly. 100%.
Yeah.
Thunderbolt, yeah, that's not bad. At least the Thunderbolt has a little bit of armor-ish, kind of, sometimes.
Yeah, I always struggle with the Sherman variants, but the Thunderbolt has been good to me, so yeah.
Remember to go to the depot, my friends, and as I usually say, go to the token store and use your tokens up. This will be going to the 10th of July, so it's not imminent. If you're trying to save up for something, have fun. This is the Road to Tank Fest thing. As you can see, I've got 2 of my 3 coins. The other one is on its way now as we watch. Make sure you are also watching the Tank Fest stream. And if you want to hear me babble then in Pilgrim, then you would mute that tab and watch it. Or watch us and listen to the Tank Fest. I don't know. There's a lot of options. You could do just about
There's a
anything
lot
you
of
wanted
options,
to.
yeah. You could be in the premium shop just buying stuff.
You could. You remember to use code word Guido and Pilgrim, it'll get you 10% off. That's not true. There's no such thing.
No such thing.
No such thing. Top of the tree, Foshby and the T-57. And that's that for missions and specials and shilling. You got anything else to add for shilling?
No, I think we've just about wrung that one dry, haven't we?
Madam Yorktown's earning all kinds of coins for a game. Don't play. 48,000 folks with the tab open, yep. But now, to be fair, Cliffy, some people are watching it because the chat is exploding. There's
It
a lot
is.
of people chatting. All right, let's go on to subjects du jour, my friends.
Let's do it.
Update 1.21 common test is out. So if you are curious about what is happening with the common test, you can find out by checking out this article, or you could download the common test. Interesting little-ish kind of patch. We have a scenario with unusual combat rules and balance changes in Frontline.
Yeah, don't know what that means. It's a
A-
little bit.
A rodent of unusual size.
Yeah, rodent.
Yeah.
Yes.
What movie? Someone
Dear.
will know. Yeah, I don't know what this August your favorite game mode will return. My favorite game mode, will it? What is my favorite game mode? Oh, Frontline. You mean the one almost nobody played this time? Oh, that one. Epic 30 versus 30 tank clashes. You'll feel right at home. However, for this launch, we've updated the combat reserve system, introducing a scenario with unusual combat rules,
In brackets.
which
The,
turns out to be random combat reserves.
you don't know what that's going to do.
Apparently, from what it says, is when you make the rank to open up a combat reserve slot, there will be a random choice of 2 of them, and then you pick one, and then when you get 3, you can have all your 3.
Yeah. All right. I don't know.
Okay.
Why can't they just left it as it was?
Because
Months ago.
It's a what is it? A scenario with unusual combat rules.
It's not.
Why? Why do you have to
It's
even
not.
say that? Why could you not just say we've introduced random combat reserves?
Exactly.
No, we're gonna.
Because it's not.
It is a scenario with unusual combat rules. Parentheses, random combat reserves.
Yeah.
What?
The funniest thing as well is if you scroll down, it says scenario with unusual combat rules, random combat reserves is only with the second launch of Frontline 2023.
Oh my gosh. Then we've got overwhelming fire.
Yeah.
Try out vehicles with automatic cannons. Heating things up this summer is the new Overwhelming Fire event. It'll feature 8 modified vehicles of the same tier but different types, equipped with fast-firing automatic cannons.
They're actually giving the mouse a double barrel. That is just crazy. That is just madness in itself.
Anyway, that is part of
Anywho's.
the roadmap they sent. They are bringing automatic cannons into the game. So this is an event to kind of show you that sort of game mechanic, I guess. So you can run around and pew pew pew. I don't know. I don't know. Is it just a? I'm assuming it's a lot of hit point reduction in a very short time, basically.
It's going to be like that P1C type scenario, but at top tiers. Isn't that horrible? You know the
Yeah.
old P1C that used to, tier 3 or 2 or whatever it was, it used to muller the enemy. It would just reduce the hit points in one burst of, like that. That's what this is going to be like, isn't it? At high tiers. That's crap.
Anyway, yeah, so we got that, and we have, this is probably the most interesting thing to everybody. They're doing the time limited chapter, the Mara Pass we've talked about in the past. So there is some kind of marathon tied into Battle Pass, like we've seen the secret or 4th chapter or whatever they want to call it. Right now we don't know what tank it is. There will be a tank attached to this common test, but as it says, it's just a technical role, whatever tank happens to be that they put in there. Be interesting to see if they put one that's already out or if they actually just put something that's in the files in there. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if they bring a wheeled premium in.
And I guess you would know now, right? Isn't this thing going on right now? I'm assuming you can load into
Is it?
Commentus. I might actually just install that today and just go take a look, see what's up,
Have a look.
just for
All right.
giggles. So that's coming. Now, Pilgrim and I were talking speculation-wise. It's possible I don't know how probable, but it's possible the premium wheeled British tank, the medium, might be the reward for this. I don't know. We're close to getting those released. The rumor is it's the end of August, early September for patch 1.22, which is supposed to have the British wheeled tanks in it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll just chuck that out there as a possibility, a speculative idea. That might be a little early. I don't know if they would do it then, but I can't see when they would. If you think about it, when would they release it, and how would they release it if not right now? Yeah, but that would break the idea of putting premiums out before the line, Cliffy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we've seen that lately. Because I think that line is supposed to be out late this summer, early fall. Right. That's what I'm saying. I don't see a time if they're going, late summer, early fall. So if they're going to,
the premium invariably comes out before because they want to get it sold.
yeah, that doesn't mean it will this
People
time,
want
but absolutely, I'm
No.
with you. That's what it's been in the past, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a marketing decision, isn't it?
Oh,
Because
100%.
you bring the premium out, people will buy it to see what the wheeled tank is like before the tech suite comes in.
And then you get your rake out. Like,
Yeah.
what's the rich duck on Donald Duck called? Uncle Duck.
Yeah,
or
Donald
whatever.
Duck. Yeah, he's,
What's his rich uncle, the guy with all the money money bags
yeah,
guy?
money
And you
bags
just
guy,
you
yeah.
rake just rake the cash in
Yeah,
there.
he's in that big grain silo full of money, isn't he?
Yeah. Swimming around in it. Check TDs, one premium, no line ever. Yeah, that's true. It's a good point. The TVP,
Yeah, that is a good point.
the Shrek. Well, that's the thing, Cliffy. You know, they're just going to put out there'll be a terrible premium and nobody will want it. It won't be good.
Like Scrooge.
Big Scrooge.
Yes, it will be. Yeah, it won't be a game changer. All the CCs will slate it. It'll be rubbish. It'll have no armor. It won't work. The gun
Yeah.
is, you know,
Oh, Brute, what's up, man?
mediocre.
Welcome.
Oh, brute in.
Okay, so that's that. That is all I know about patch 1.22.1. Now, patch 1.22 is a different story. Let's go take a look at that. Here's the rumors, and it shows the wheeled tanks. We showed this last week, this screenshot right here. What else? Vehicle rebalance. So there's some speculation for 1.22. Remember the roadmap had all these tanks on it. So the list of those tanks is here. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but apparently these are the tanks that were on there. The Batchat 25 Rinoceronte, Type 5, E50, WZ132-1. Does that mean these are all buffs? Are they buffs and debuffs? I don't know. Could be some nerfs in here too, unknown. The Patton, the Object 430, and the T95. I don't know why the T95 needs any work, but I guess they think it does. IS3, KV4, the AMX 65T. Did it not just get buffed and then debuffed?
Yeah. But then they've done this before. This is not something new. They constantly do it.
It's
They
the
buff
Shrek.
it, they
Thanks,
nerf
Fluffy.
it, they buff it, they nerf it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, right? So they just did this buff debuff thing to the MX. So maybe that's already been done and that's not a future thing. That was just on that list of things and that's been done. I don't know. TVP VTU, the 110, I think also has been touched recently, as I recall. Centurion Mark 1, same thing. So maybe some of these have already been done. The ARL 3001, ARL V39. That's what was on this. That doesn't mean that's the list. It doesn't mean there's more, not more. Just something for consideration.
Are you sponsored by Hershey's?
Why?
Because the advert came up on your screen where you got Armour Patrol underneath the Hershey's bar advert came
Oh,
up.
yeah.
It was quite engaging. So I actually missed everything you said for the last 2 minutes.
Well, apparently I'm also sponsored by Intel to digitize your supply chain. So I don't know.
Oh, I'd rather you be sponsored by Hershey's.
Okay.
That's nice.
Apparently, some of the potentially crew, phase 2 of the cut crew 1.5, whatever that means. That's a
They're coming up with weird and wonderful things there, aren't they?
Yeah, this is the. I don't know. Is this the turning guys into crew books and stuff? There's no real details here, but apparently some of the crew stuff is. I thought they paused it, but now maybe it's back. I don't know. A new fan mode. I don't know what the hell that means. Oh, overwhelming fire. That's the one they're already talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's more referring to maybe the tanks that have the autocannons. Are they in 1.22? Don't know. Don't know. Do the British wheeled tanks have the autocannon? I don't think so. I think they're just regular
No,
cyclical.
I don't think so. I don't think they have. Because, well, they're mediums. I don't think we've got any mediums. Oh, yes, we have the Progetto. Yeah.
My take from that, Wayne, is that some of the crew changes are coming back or have been redone, or I don't know. So when they announce what 1.22 has, then people will know. But there's something going on with the crew in 1.22. So apparently that pause.
Brute's got to leave.
All right, buddy. Take care, man.
But you're saying that Brit tanks have T. Yes, well, actually, here's an aside. We've had this discussion before. We have a thing called a BV in British tanks, which you guys don't have in yours. In your Abrams, you don't have BVs. I don't know why, because it's such a brilliant idea. BV is a boiling vessel. So we have a kettle, a square one, with a lid that is constantly full of water and constantly on boiling. So you can have a cup of tea at any point in the battle. You can just stop, get a cup of tea going, have a slurp, go back to firing your gun. What a brilliant idea.
I don't know if it's used that way, but okay. You would know. You're the expert. What do I know? You're the one that was doing it, not me. I don't know.
And you get your boiling bags. You know your meals rejected by Ethiopians that you people eat. You know, the MREs.
Yeah.
So our version, you get this silver foil pack with your duff pudding and all that, plum pudding. And you can throw that in the BV. That boils away, heats that up, pull that out, make a cup of tea with the boiling water, open up your silver foil, nash away, and then back to your gun again. So yeah, it's cool.
That's the
So you
civilized
guys
way
need
to do it.
BVs in your tanks.
Well, Cliffy's got a good question though. Where do you keep the ice for the iced tea?
We don't do iced tea. Only you colonials do iced tea. It's as simple as that.
I had the nicest sweet iced tea the other day. It's like manna from heaven.
See,
If you ever come out
I can't
here,
do iced
you're gonna have some southern sweet tea. You'll
Well,
never.
do you know, because I when I'm in Rome, do as the Romans do.
Yeah.
I do that. I will accept a cup of sweet tea, cold or whatever, with ice. Oh my god! But and I will make a judgment on it at that time. I think that's fair enough. Isn't it?
Fair enough. That is all
let
that can
me-
be asked.
Let me draw you something, because
Oh,
I've
good
just
Lord.
seen something here. Look, US has a container filled with beer. Right. Well, here we go. I'm just drawing something. And it's not very good, but it's on a post-it note, but I'll show you that. Okay, that,
Yeah.
right, that is a British Army Cub. And it's, I don't know how you spell it, but it's on a pallet, and it's like a cage with tubes in it.
Yeah.
All right, and it's for the artillery. You've probably got the same. So when the artillery get their ammunition and the charges, they get a pallet like this, and it'll have, and the top two layers will be, the shells, and the bottom two layers will be the charges. Well, when the Gulf, when Desert Storm, you guys called it, when that kicked off, before I got deployed, we had to go and help the logistics guys outload an ammunition depot in Germany. And we had loads of these for the artillery, because we had the old M109s and all that sort of stuff. So we had loads of those, and you know that Saudi was a dry area.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
You couldn't have a beer. Well, we outloaded the whole of this ammunition depot in Germany. I mean, it was like thousands and thousands of tons. And we got to the end, and there wasn't enough shells or charge bags to fill all the tubes up. So we actually filled the tubes up with cans of beer. So you can imagine the artillery pulling a shell out, ramming it up into the gun, going for the charge bag and pulling out a can of Tennant's beer. Like this.
That's how you know it's Miller time.
Yeah, exactly.
If you've just run out of all your charges and shells, and
Yeah.
the next thing you pull out is a beer, you just declare Miller time, and we're done here.
That's it,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Miller time, we're done.
Yeah.
All right, we've been out for an hour, Pilgrim. We're going to take a 5-minute break, guys. We'll come right back. Very interesting Lesta Q&A. We got a couple other things, but a very interesting Lesta Q&A. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Looking forward to that.
Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Now in the shadows came a mysterious chap who spoke in a tongue with strange dialect. He offered his help to the mighty Guido to bring some laughter to his love of speedos. To the coffee talk they both came to bring the message of winning ways to all and sundry and the masses. Yes, that's right, lads and lasses. The damage counts and flexing back will keep you on the right track. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. So in what? If you want to progress, then seek out Guido nonetheless. With his sidekick Pilgrim, he has a message that to win you must be aggressive. The position and place that you must seek, for the winners only, not the weak. The guru speaks, so listen well. His voice rings out like the Liberty Bell to bring you all to Unicom land, or to die hard trying in the sand. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. To the swamplands came the mountain man.
All right, we are back, guys. The Shermans went to Russia for Lend-Lease. Factories put whiskey in the barrels for the commies. Hey, you know what? Even commies need whiskey.
Yeah. Somebody said it should have been vodka, but I think they got enough of that anyway.
Yeah, they had plenty of that. All right, so we talked about 1.22. I think that's everything in that. There's another rumor on a thing called a tiger mouse, which is this guy right here. It's like a combo E100 with a mouse or Mausian turret-esque thing. Maybe a 75-0 whatever turret, really. So that's what that thing looks like. There you go. There's a nice side view of it. Tier 9, I'm assuming a Tier 9, yeah, Tier 9 premium. So there's a possibility for some kind of marathon or whatever. Or maybe a box tank, I guess, because it's almost Christmas, Pilgrim.
Yeah, it is nearly Christmas. I mean, I'm just going to get my vacation out of the way and then it'll be Christmas.
The only thing holding up Christmas is Pilgrim's vacation.
Yep.
So when you get back, we're going to be spinning up for boxes, guys.
We are.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to be doing all sorts.
Yeah.
But you're away on vacation.
I am.
Have to wait till you get back.
That's true. We'll have to wait. As soon as September hits, we'll really start ramping up the Christmas spirit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll do it.
And that
I guess
means
your house general will have the house decorated in September.
more than likely.
There
But what
you
I'm
are.
really looking forward to is Box Festival. First, we need to have the Thanksgiving boxes and the Halloween boxes.
Yes.
and the Festival of Leafs boxes. And
Well, you see, World of Tanks has got Summerfest.
Summerfest
Festival
boxes.
Yeah, summer boxes.
Some of them will be crates, some will be boxes, some will be
Yeah,
small paper baggies of tanks.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Tank. Oh man. Morning, Zimbo.
Oh,
All right, so yeah, Tiger Mouse. There you go. The Tiger Mouse 12T. Oh, they might actually have some numbers on that. Hold the phone. I think it's a 530. That's true. 530 Alpha gun. 246 standard pin. I think it's 311 as I recall for the premium round. Aiming time 2.3, accuracy 0.35. I've actually seen 0.37, so I'm not sure which number is correct. Of course, all these are all placeholders really. They'll be close.
Yeah, but
What
the
else?
thing is, what you wouldn't. Why would you want one of those? To be honest, if you've got a tiger and you've got a mouse, why would you want one? I don't understand putting that together. It's not anything special, really,
Because it's new.
because it's just something somebody wants to put out.
Because
there,
it's
you know?
because it's a combination of two
Yeah, it's
monsters.
Just, you know.
It's just a
Can we not
thing.
do that with? Can we do that with the 430U and let's say the Tiger 2? Can we not put those two together? Wouldn't that be fun? 430U turret with a Tiger 2 hull. Yeah, let's do that.
Call it the Ford 30 Cougar.
Yeah. Tuga. It's a
430.
Tuga.
430 Cougar U.
Tuga you.
Cougar you? Cougar you? Cougar me.
I got a Tuga you if you come near me.
This is a Tier 9 Premium, so it will do the bonds thing. That's one of the...
Yeah.
Also, they can sell it for more because it's a Tier 9 Premium. I don't understand what you don't understand here.
Well, perhaps I'm not on the same page as the rest of the world, but
Yeah.
get on the right page, Pilgrim.
I don't see anything there that makes it look overpowered necessarily, but who knows? We'll see what happens. The armor's pretty good on it. In fact, I think its turret is better than the Maushan turret, as I recall. We'll see we'll see how the whole package works together in the game. It is rear turreted. That will make it a little more ungainly to play. That's always slightly more difficult to deal with. All right, so there's that guy. He's floating around out there. All right, let's go on. The last thing I've got is the Lesta Q&A, my friends, and this is very, very interesting.
Yeah, let's do the Leicester interview. I
Now-
can't wait to go through this.
Remember, Lesta, theoretically, is not connected with Wargaming anymore. There is certainly an amount of parallel development that appears to be happening. Dare we even say cooperation? But there's also some divergence going on as well, and it's, I don't know. Anyway, these are the Julios that they're talking to right here, and they've asked them some questions. There was supposed to be a Q&A from Wargaming about a year ago that never happened. Yeah,
What?
Bonzi, it's struggling a little bit again, unfortunately. Apologies for that. Nothing I can do about it. Although I guess I could stop the stream and start it again. That worked last time. Looks like it's in the green again. All right, so we'll start from the top. Taboo. There's a lot of translation stuff going on here, so some of the syntax and the structure of the sentences is weird, but it's all coming from the Russian. Taboo and adding features that Wargaming does. Dynamic event. So I'm trying to break that down. Taboo on adding features that I guess they're asking about, are you not going to add stuff that Wargaming does? There is so much in the background of that one question.
Yeah.
It goes really to the idea of, well, is this a parallel development? Are you sharing development? Is there an agreement between the two studios to do so? Meaning that you can use each other's stuff? How much cooperation is there as you continually diverge? Then if you don't maintain the same baseline, at least in terms of the structure of the game code, you'll get to a point where you really can't do a lot of that back and forth. So none of this answers that question.
No.
Anyway, dynamic events on the World of Tanks. This is a thing that changes structure. Yeah, we got that. At the moment, we are not ready for such experiments, so it looks like they're not going to do that for now. But again, that statement, at the moment, we are not ready. That leaves the door open. That means possibly we'll do that. Does that mean they're going to develop it separately, or they're going to use Wargaming's code? Do they have an agreement to share? This is the whole virtue signaling thing I've been talking about with the war and the separation and all that BS. I don't know, man. But from a game standpoint, it's interesting to me. Europe has a game balance department. That's hilarious. They're saying that Europe has a game balance department and a map department.
Does that mean NA doesn't?
Blues Traveler, right on, man. Appreciate that. Well, it does kind of mean they don't. I think what he's saying is they don't have they're not as robust in terms of a studio as the Europe Wargaming. But he says Europe has a game balance department. Now, some of this is probably artifacts. It's also probably translation. But the way they're talking, it sounds like it's dual. Like it's the same company to me. This makes it sound like it's the same company.
Yeah.
And theoretically, it's supposed to be different. So it's interesting to watch. Regions may differ from each other, both in the behavior of players and their preferences. That's for sure, 100%. At the moment, we believe that within our region, this thing will not be very good if we add all this to random battles right now. Well, I actually agree. It's bad in all regions, but anyway, what do I know? So I thought the very opening was fascinating. There are more and more players with 2 to 4K monitors. They're talking about bringing it up to 2K. Something that is happening, and I know if you try to run one of these if you try to run a 2K or 4K monitor, the UI is not very well optimized right now, and you get, like, if I put the game over on my big widescreen, all the letters get tiny.
Yeah.
And it's hard to read the damn thing. In fact, that's why I don't have it on my big curved widescreen. I put it on my standard, whatever this is, 27 inch. And I leave it there because at least I can read the daggum letters.
Yeah.
So it's not well optimized, clearly not for them or for EU, Europe, whatever he calls it. Wargaming. We'll just call them Wargaming. Wargaming Maine. Crew 2.0 concept 2021 was very good. Was it? There are some nuances that should be changed, but in general, Crew 2.0, as it was originally made, in my opinion, was made quite interesting. In general, the concept is great. So I guess they asked him about Crew 2.0. Maybe they're going to go with the original version of it. Who knows what exactly. The problem is the questions aren't really here. This was interesting. The Call of Mars fan mode did not appear for us because there was nowhere to add it to our plan of events. Well, that means they had it.
Really? Yeah.
Right? Now, is this a case of it was developed jointly? It was developed before the war and all that stuff? I don't think so. I mean, it may have started at that point, but certainly the finishing touches weren't done until the last year. The war's been going on for almost a year and a half, year and 3 months, or whatever it is now.
Yeah.
I thought that was telling. Like, we didn't put it in there because there was nowhere to add it. He didn't say because it was developed by a different studio and it wouldn't work for us, right? He didn't say because Wargaming made it and we're a separate company, that's why it's not there. What he said is there was nowhere to add it to our plan of events.
Yeah. But it's been in the, like you said, it's been in the making for nearly 2 years. So it wouldn't take the brains of a rocking horse to be able to put that into a schedule. That's rubbish.
Well, I think maybe the background of that is it just wasn't interesting enough and we didn't want to do it. So now that they have independence to make some of these decisions, they decided not to put it in. And as we go through this, they're not as excited about all these extra events as Wargaming appears to be. And that's where you do start to see the divergence of the what's the word I'm looking for? Divergence of like a thought process. Can't think of the word I'm trying to come up with there. Philosophical divergence, right? Philosophical divergence of how to develop and maintain the game. that's one of the places where you see that. Like, we didn't do Call
But
of
they
Mars.
will know their own market, or you would expect them to know their own market. So they will know that the Russian community would only accept certain types of things, or would
Yeah,
only be
right.
happy. You know what I
Yep.
mean? It's
But it's
Yeah.
more interesting to me, Pilgrim, the fact of how they said that it sounds like it was an option for them to add it, which means they do have some kind of relationship with wargaming,
true,
right?
true, because it sounds like they've left the door open for the option as well.
So,
They
you
said
know,
at the moment, they're not ready for it.
and I think Gator, it's not exactly they lied. It's they just did not tell the whole truth.
No,
And I know I
lied
get it.
by omission.
I'm parsing words here a lot, and I get it. Essentially, that is more or less lying because you're trying to get people to believe a certain thing has happened in order to boost your company, right? Your street cred or whatever you want to call it. But you didn't really do that. And every time I see one of these, I'm like, what? So what's going on exactly between you guys? All right, so I would like not only. Here's where it gets really interesting to me. I would like not only premium tanks, but also all tanks at the same contribution level, in principle, to have the same contribution to the battle, an acceptable spread. The most powerful tank, right here, the most powerful tanks will be nerfed one way or another, including premiums. If we are talking about the weakest tanks, then they will be buffed. Oh, don't tease me with a good time, fellas.
No,
Of course, that's Lesta. So
this is Leicester.
But so there's another philosophical change. Now, whether that actually comes to fruition, they have said things like this in the past, but I've never heard one of them specifically say, lately anyway, in the last 5 years or so, that premiums are on the table.
Yeah, and there's also an admission that the premiums are considered to be better tanks in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, we know it, but they don't sell it as such. They don't say, hey, buy this premium tier 9 because it's far better than any of the tech trees. They don't tell you that.
Yeah.
But we know by players that a lot of these tanks that are coming out are actually better in the game than the tech trees. Now they're almost admitting, they're saying that the premium tanks are, that first sentence, they're saying that the premium tanks are overpowered.
Well, yeah, there's no
to some
argument.
extent.
Yeah, there's no argument. If you had a wargaming guy come out and try to argue that somehow the premium and reward tanks aren't a problem because they're not overpowered, it's a non-starter. It's a non-starter, and really you're hurting your own credibility by saying. So what they choose to do instead is they just don't talk about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's a non-subject.
Instead of just a bald-faced lie, they just don't. They just act as if it doesn't exist. It's not a problem because it's not a problem kind of thing.
No.
But we don't talk about it being not a problem because then if we talked about it being not a problem, we'd be called out as liars because it is a problem. That kind of thing.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Translation issues are definitely true, Cliffy. I would say though, when in terms of this paragraph, I don't think there's much mistaking what he said here. He talked about premiums, nerfed. I mean, that's. In fact, I thought somewhere else he might even talk about reward tanks. But these are words are wind, right? Okay, he said it. Does it happen? I don't know. Does it affect us? Probably not because it's Lesta. Or does it?
You see, now we're getting into that grey area, aren't we? We're getting into that grey area where and here's a thought, is Leicester being used as a proving ground for various things, given the player base is huge, that may well get introduced into our game.
Well, that's the whole question. What is the relationship? Yeah. I don't think necessarily it's a test bed to improve Wargaming's other product. There appears to be, to me, my take on it is there is a significant amount of sharing. There must be some agreement for some content to flow both ways. There's also a significant level of independence based on what I'm hearing and seeing of the two, where they can mix and match. And really the prototype for that is the Chinese side,
absolutely.
right? There's certainly some cross flow there to some extent, but the Chinese side is continually diverge. I don't even know whether they share anything.
That's only because it's a completely closed shop.
Yeah, and I'm sure they have options in the contract where they could buy, if Wargaming Europe builds tank blah, then the Chinese company can buy it or pay them to use it or whatever, and then it shows up in the Chinese stuff. So this seems to be what really is happening here. It's an independent studio, a la the Chinese, to some extent, Chinese server company, but it's not necessarily beholden to everything that Wargaming
No,
does.
I think there's quite a symbiotic relationship between Leicester and let's call it the rest of Wargaming.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of tendrils which have not been unwound.
Yeah. Yeah, Cliffy, I hear what you're saying. I think, again, though, I think if you truly were independent, you would make it a little clearer. There would be some verbiage in there to say something like, and I think the verbiage would be something like, well, that was developed Wargaming developed that, and we didn't develop anything similar, or whatever. I think there's an assumption by these guys, because I don't think they worry about it necessarily like we're worrying about it. And we're not worrying about it, we're just discussing it. I think that it just doesn't even come to mind. They know that what the relationship is, even though we don't, and they just like, we just didn't put it in there. So
Yeah.
So
but it's the old attitude that we've said what we've said. We've told everybody we've diverged into two separate companies, and
which they
that's now
have.
fact. That's now fact.
They have, yeah.
Yeah. So there's no reference to what they're saying here to the fact that they haven't really diverged in the way that we understood it, because it doesn't feature on their radar. They're like, we've said what we've said.
Well, and to some extent, we may have jumped to conclusions ourselves, like, oh, diverged means they're totally separate, never to talk to each other, because Russians are evil and Ukrainians are good. Like, in my analog black and white world, that's how things are. Well, probably not exactly. And just in terms of game development, watching the industry, I think it's kind of it's definitely, to me, a really interesting situation going on. So since the beginning of the existence of the game, a lot of mechanisms have appeared that help players level up faster. That's true. Like lately, it's unreal. I actually can unlock a tier 10 faster than a tier 8 right now.
Wow.
Because every time a new line comes out, I'll start at whatever tier it is, and I'll have to grind. Now, I usually have enough free experience to get the modules, and then I'll just grind the tank, and that takes a while. By the time I get to the tier 9 and tier 10, because of the way the blueprint things work and all the bonuses work, I actually take less battles to do the 9 and 10 than it does the 8.
Yeah.
Because by the time especially when I get to the 9, all the blueprints I get, when you get random blueprints, are for that 10. The next thing I know, I've played 12, 15 battles and I have a 10.
And you've got your XP to do it. Yeah. No, I can see that.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see that. But then again, that's not a bad thing, because you've had the learning curve on that particular line going from whatever starting tank it was, say tier 6. So you've done tier 6, 7, 8. So you've sort of understood the line before you get to 9 and 10 anyway. So, it's not the pinnacle of the grind anymore is tier 10.
Yeah. So they kind of talked both sides of their face right here, which, again, it's difficult. My situation is, it's not the most common situation, but a lot of people have accounts like mine where it's very easy. But they're talking about, progressing has accelerated. According to developers, this needs to be slowed down. All this is not very good, but you don't need to play for months to reach tier 10. So they're trying to figure out the best way to, all right, there needs to be a grind to keep people interested, but we don't want it to be so long that they hate it. Just the way everything is piled on top of each other right now. If you're new, it can be a grind for sure, 100%. But if you get established,
but it always was. It always was, Guido. It was never. It was. That was. This is the point. I agree with Cliffy. There isn't an end game. They like to think as tier 10 as being the end game. It's not an end game. The game is the grind. It's having to go through the tech trees, and yes, you get to your tier 10.
Yeah. So
the game is the grind. And it's always been that way. When we started, it was a grind. It was a massive grind because we didn't have blueprints and all the rest of it.
No.
You could play a tank line for virtually months before you even got to the top tiers.
Yeah.
So and that's what was attractive to me.
Well, the acceleration happened.
Longevity. Yeah.
The acceleration happened when it was like that, and then they had expanded to so many tanks that people, when they started, if you looked at how long it would take you to do all of those tanks, there was no possibility of getting there. So then Wargaming said, well, we need to accelerate this Unfortunately, they've continued to pile things on where now the acceleration is out of control. Right? They kind of lost. They lost the bubble on that one.
Yeah.
So, there you go. I don't know what the
Well,
fix
that's
is to that necessarily. I mean, I'm not sure what you do other than to take away some of the things that accelerate it, or make them more limited or more scarce. You know.
Yeah.
They want to develop esports. I thought that was okay. Boy, really? You're going to develop esports in Russia. Okay. Good luck with that one.
Yeah.
I mean, esports is dying a slow, tragic death in the West right now.
Yeah.
Never mind and it's not dying, but it's definitely not reaching what they thought it was going to be.
No, I mean they shot themselves in the foot, esports, so that's that's another story.
Maps of the current quality are made in total. I guess someone asked how long it takes to make maps. They say 2 years. No idea. Again, that's the same question. Is there cross flow? I assume they have an option in the contracting to buy maps from Wargaming. The fourth mark in the barrel. They're talking about a fourth mark. That's been a subject that's come up a couple times over here as well. And I think the fourth mark is what, 100%? I don't know if they'll make it 100 or if they'll make it 99 or what they'll do with it. But possibility of even more, what's the word I like to use with it? The three mark, the fetish, more fetishizing the 3 mark, 4 mark thing right there.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I mean, if you do 100%, if you get 100%, get a fourth mark. There you go. Next marathon is in the summer. That's the same here, whatever it is. Development of main groups. They're talking about their clans. Reward tanks on a permanent basis for free experience. This was interesting here. Yes, it's possible. So free experience for stuff. The question is whether it should be something interesting or justified. More can just... you can just make tanks for free, but why? It's a good question. There will be no imbalanced broken tanks for bonds. Yeah, checks in the mail. Do not accumulate... This was interesting. Do not accumulate bonds. The balance and health of the game is the most important thing for us now. If some kind of imbalance appears and we accidentally sell it, we will nerf such a tank. I like that.
Yeah.
Hoarding is a road to nowhere.
That is cool.
Again, these are all words. Also, it's a studio that has no real control over what Wargaming is doing that we play. Experimental equipment at the moment is easily accessible. I like this. Analog. Compare with bond equipment. So they consider it the same level as bond equipment. The experimental will be distributed to, so be it, in those activities that are available to everyone. All right, so I liked that right there. The whole gating it behind more difficult or one-off events, things that makes you want to play it. I like that idea. I wish we had that idea. We can distribute the components. We can, for example, someday sell for silver. So they're talking about maybe selling it, but not for gold. Okay. Current concepts as follows. They'll distribute them, or we give them in events that are long-term, can be performed by all players without changing their game mode conditionally. In Onslaught, no. That's for highly engaged players. In the Battle Pass, yes. So that's their philosophy there. Important. This is specifically our concept, World of Tanks Lesta. The concept. So this is the first time they sort of talk to that.
Yeah.
The concept in Wargaming can differ very much. So there you go.
Well, no. I think reading into that, they mean if they want to, they can go and do their thing. But I think it still will be tied in some way to the main game. I really do.
I mean, the content might be to some extent. There may be some back and forth, but Pilgrim, I don't think, based on what they're saying here, these are all the things that Wargaming won't talk about.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, not all of them, but a lot of these things are things they won't talk about. There's no real plan or talking about how the hell they're going to do experimental equipment. So far, it's gated behind all kinds of stupid modes and stuff. Broken tanks, rewards and premiums, they never talk about fixing those, just not even on the table. I think it's interesting. There's a lot of stuff being talked about here that Wargaming just won't talk about. WoT Classic, there's always been a kind of grassroots idea that to bring back the older version of the game, but They have a good point here. They say it's interesting, but this is a fragmentation of the audience. Good point, which is a big risk. For example, the player will not go to main tanks after leaving the classic, but simply leave.
Well,
What a refreshing amount of honesty.
yeah, because I mean that. Yeah, isn't that nice? But then that's a reality, isn't it? I love the old game. The blocky tanks, and the top tier was tier 7. That was fun.
Yeah, but also they're honest about it. Like, that's just competing against ourselves. Does that?
Yeah, that's true.
So the question becomes for the company: does that bring me more players, or does that split my player base?
Yeah.
Or
Good point.
Or is it worth it because it will keep more players around who might? This is all the calculations they've got to do. It's like, all right, do we have the time to mess with it? Because now you're basically making a different, complete game.
Yeah.
Watt 0.7 they brought back. I know, right, Cliffy? It's not all. It's never grass is greener as you remember it, man. I'll tell you that for nothing. I like the old fan modes thing they talked about here. They talk about how difficult it is to bring them back. You got to re-update them, all that good stuff. They do have modes they're talking about. They're talking about doing 2 special modes a year. One for autumn and one for spring.
Okay.
And
Similar along the lines of, say, the football or the go-kart races or something like that, I would imagine. Or is
Yeah.
it going to be more tank oriented? Yeah.
so we recently compiled a catalog of old fan modes that have ever run and looked at how much it costs to restart and how interesting it is. So very rough estimate. Fan modes in general are very expensive, so don't expect them in a month or 2 or 3. We allocated 2 slots. What will come into this time frame, either nothing or something old or something new, will have to be decided each time. Really want to make fan modes that we can restart the more than once in my life SOS mode, and that's it. I forgot. Return once every couple of years, replay those feelings, and so on. So, kind of an honest discussion about these modes. Like, there's been a couple that we've liked in the past that never showed up again. They do spend a lot of money and effort on them. So it sounds like they're going to try to limit what appears to be a reflexive urge by Wargaming to create modes every couple months for some reason.
Well, let's see how that works out.
Yep.
Can I just put this in here? I've just put it into chat. Tarry, your tea will be with you on the 1st of July, mate. I've just noticed you're in chat.
Excellent.
So just to let you know, according to the company, Fortnum and Mason, they said 1st of July is the delivery date, but I will keep you updated if it's not going to happen, because I'm away now for the next 2 weeks, so you'll get it before I'm back. So hopefully your 30 days supply of good old English tea will be there on the 1st.
So their onslaught philosophy is interesting. He says, I want players to be unable to complete onslaught by simply playing battles, grinding. The more you allow to save chevrons and make proof milestones, the more players who just play a lot of battles can get higher. Now this is such a barrier that does not allow the vast majority of people to go upstairs to get in the high ranks if the player cannot play well. Plus, many players like the fact that the result, which is very difficult to achieve, is still achieved. So, looks like they want their onslaught to be, you got to be good. So there's going to be no just I grind it out to get high.
Yeah.
And they also mentioned they're creating a new game balance department, tuning the performance characteristics of tanks, which we are building from scratch. So there's another thing they haven't talked about, which we are building from scratch. So that indicates they are making their own tanks. The same applies to the map department. It is also created from zero. So I think probably the realistic view here is that they did have an agreement for X amount of time, I would imagine, based on however the contract was built when they separated,
Right.
or the agreement, however they're running their 2 operations. They probably made it a reasonable, smart decision to allow some cross-flow for some number of time, for some amount of time. And then they were going to have to end up building these things themselves in order, especially as their game diverges enough, they're going to have to do their own maps and tanks eventually.
Yeah.
So
Because there will be, for example, let's take the politics out of this, but at some point, will mints come back into the game? At some point, will...
well, that's a whole nother
you know.
question. That's a great question,
Yeah.
man. That's sometime
No,
in the
mate.
future at this point, based on the...
Yeah.
based on the emotions involved in the situation. But yeah, we'll
Yeah,
see
no,
what happens
absolutely.
there. Crazy world, crazy world. I thought.
Pig is saying he fully expect Wargame to have a tablet-based tower defense game coming soon.
Sorry. Oh, for mobile, yeah, for mobile.
Yeah.
Lesta Studio, Major Tom, is the studio that is in charge of the Russian, what we used to call the Russian server. So Wargaming and Lesta, yeah, Cliffy, yeah, we're getting to that. Lesta and Wargaming split as a result of the Ukrainian war, and they've been developing somewhat separately, somewhat together. That's what we're kind of discussing right here. This particular Q&A is from the Lesta folks, so generally has little to do with the Wargaming we know that we play the game on their servers, but could have some crossflow. I think most of the crossflows from Wargaming to Lesta, vice the other way around. But that's all speculative. I thought this was funny, Per. Off topic about girls in the industry, in the gaming industry. Like, how did that even come up?
Why? Yeah.
I kind of like some of the honesty here. And again, there's translation stuff here. So when they say girls, ladies, women, professionals of the female variety, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's call it women. Some women do very well. Yeah, true. Some men do very well. Some suck on both sides. Many of the 3D styles that we drew were made by women. Fun fact, women who go as far as joining these types of companies achieve, I'm not sure what ODD level means. Management? Maybe something like that? Or is that that a 3D qualification of some kind? Anyone know what that means?
Oh, something developer maybe.
Yeah, something develop. Yeah, maybe something developer. Senior developer, manager, who knows? The presumption is some kind of higher level. They are usually very... Fucking Russians, man. Never change, you bunch of goofballs. They're usually very stubborn and fight. Because in such a process, the strongest survive. Oh my god. Like
This is where they get their blurbs from. For the
I know,
characters,
this is hilarious. This is why I always love the Russian stuff. And again, translation is a problem here. Because the context we're getting it here may not be the context that it is spoken in necessarily in the original Russian. But the point is well taken. Yes, there's women in the gaming industry. They do a lot of their 3D styles, especially Lesta apparently. They say they do a great job. You know, when they get to a higher level, they work hard, essentially is what we're getting to here. Some of the 3D, they said the hangar from May 9th. What is May 9th? Is that their... is May 9th Victory Day? Yeah.
Yeah.
World War II Victory Day.
Yeah.
So their hangar, there was a lot of work done by women there. Okay, so I don't know. Maybe someone asked about women in the working for Lesta or something, and they got into that whole thing.
It's not even a subject that should. Well, I don't know.
Well, it's one of those things. It like, do we talk about it or don't talk about it, right? And then every time you talk about it, somehow you're not talking about it right. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So
no,
there's fewer women
yeah.
coding and creating gaming content than there are men. That's just a fact. Why that's happening, or whether it's good or bad, is an entirely different question. So we can certainly talk about the facts of what it is, and then we can discuss, you know, whether it needs to change, whether it should change, what the variables are, you know, blah blah blah. So, but that's nothing I want to talk about necessarily. I just thought it was kind of an interesting little blurb.
It's funny though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Major Tom's asking about the Chieftain Proto. We covered it earlier on, Guido.
Yeah, we went through that. It is a top 10, I would say, tier 9 heavy. The bonus on it is it makes credits and bonds, man. It's a no kidding premium. So you've got a tier 9 that makes extra credits and it makes bonds. So that's the big draw for it. If you're patient, like someone was saying, and like the whole down game, that's a tank for you. So there you go. That's my take on it. Then this last question.
Sorry, go on.
What's it?
Pig's just making me laugh. Pig's having a right go at the 3D skins. No, it's fine.
That's what we're getting to right here. Why did you make almost all 3D styles more expensive? I love this answer. These guys are very honest, man. And probably because they're not very polished in terms of customer facing communications. Show offs are more expensive than money. Again, translation matters, but it says show offs are more expensive than money. This is a luxury item, and we remind you that making a 3D style for resources equals making an almost new tank. At the same time, far fewer people will buy the 3D style, and for us it turns out to be a much more unprofitable story. I find that hard to believe.
Isn't that honest? Isn't that honest? But I do find it hard to believe.
It's more profitable to just customize tanks, but we'll do 3D styles anyway. 3D styles should be interesting to players, but they shouldn't cost too little. They shouldn't cost too little. I mean, what he's basically saying is the resources required to make them, according to them anyway, it's a fairly expensive thing to create, and then so they need to charge a bit more or a lot more for it. I mean, I don't know, maybe maybe the women are too expensive. I don't know.
Yeah, because they're stubborn and they fight a lot.
Yeah, they're making all the 3D styles. That was just a weird. I thought that was just a weird ending to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Hire someone who knows how to create skins. Right, Pig? Modders churn these things out. Right? So I'm not sure. I'd like to find an industry insider at some point and talk to them about the whole 3D styling thing and the whole customization cost price. Going back to Diablo that we sort of started everything out with, they're really monetizing the shit out of Diablo. Like, you can spend all kinds of money buying fancy armors and this, that, and the other in that game.
See that now, Cliffy makes a good point. While you're saying that, and it's a point that I always make. 3D skins are very selective, very selective. So the buying audience isn't going to be everybody who plays the game. It'll be those people who want a shagging surfboard on their tank, and I don't.
What about the world's largest anti-aircraft gun on top of your mouth?
Yeah, exactly. You know, all right, I'll admit I have that one. But yeah, exactly. You know, so they're not going to make money off 3D skins because not everybody's going to have it. You know, they're going to go, I don't want that.
This is actually a very fancy immolation device. So if you're sitting on this chair and this big oil drum or fuel tank on the back gets hit and it goes up, you're just flambe right there.
Well, or an ejection seat. You become the tank ejection seat, don't you, if you're sitting there.
What else we got? We got this tank. It's got... that's not bad, the old 780. What else we got? We got a Super Con.
The choo-choo train. Banzai says the choo-choo train.
The choo-choo train.
Yeah.
Now, I don't have the
Have
thing
you got that one?
I do, but I'm trying to find the Type 5. Do I have that big... There it is. Kaiju. Is this the one that has a surfboard, or is there another one?
Oh, I don't know. Really?
No, this one has another massive gun on top of it.
Yeah, look at that.
I do have the choo-choo.
How do you hide behind bushes in that? There's no way you can hide behind a bush.
You are the bush.
Yeah, you become the bush.
Choo-choo train. There it is. Yeah, all right.
I like that for the noise it makes. If I can have the noise without the skin, that would do me, you know, I would...
Oh, does it make
definitely...
choo-choo sounds?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, if you've got it on, it goes choo 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 choo, and then it goes woo choo 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 choo. Yeah, it's awesome.
I did not know that. I did not know that. And the 110E3's got all these... I don't even know what is going on here. What the hell these things are.
Boats on it. It's got boats on it. Really?
Yeah.
I think.
All right. Well, I think that's about it for me, Pilgrim. You got anything else? Any questions from the... Yeah, thank you. Any questions from the peanut gallery out there? You guys got any? T95 has the surfboard. Okay, there you go. A skin with sounds. That's right. I'm not bothered by the 3D skins. I think the prices are outrageous. I would literally never pay that much money for a 3D skin.
No.
It's just not...
No.
I love them, and if you can get them for prizes and stuff, that's awesome. But as far as forking out $20 for one or $15, I just don't see that. I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
I don't know. I mean, who
Might
would
I
make
pay
question?
5 or 10 for one that I really liked and I liked the tank? Maybe. Actually, maybe. But 15, 20, that's too much.
It is a lot of money, isn't it? When you think about it, that's probably a tank. You know, might not be a tier 9 tank, but it'd be a tank.
Cliffy makes a good point. That I didn't show it, but
Yeah.
the Tiger and Panther ones, the newer ones, actually do look pretty cool. They're not bad at all.
If they had 3D skins that were, what do I say, applicable, and within the keeping of the game and the tank, you know, not surfboards, not boats, not anti-aircraft guns or anything like that. But if they had the skin, you know, we know that the infantry used to put some of the heavier sort of missile systems hanging on the side of the tank. Then they would do their maneuver warfare. They would grab it off the tank. Now, that sort of stuff you can sort of
Yeah.
get it. And tankers would have their kit on the outside of the turret and things like that. That's cool, but you know, you start. But I mean, you know, it's only. You know, Charlie doesn't do surf, have surfboards on tanks, you know.
Charlie doesn't surf. All right, so I just got my Tank Fest token,
Cool.
and I think I have to log out and log back in because I checked my depot and I did not have the 3rd coin. So let me log back in before we go and just make sure. Everyone else has watched the appropriate amount of time. I think as of right now, you should be able to go get your token.
Yeah.
And that should be your 3rd token if you've got all 3. And at that point, I think we determined the TOG is the most expensive one. So sell your TOG, provided you can afford to get rid of the equipment or whatever, which I think you can, unless you've got some kind of bounty or bond equipment on it. And you'll be able to make a little credits off of it. Or if you don't have one of the 3, grab one of the 3. That's a free tier 6, so not bad. Taking me forever to log back in. All right, so receipt. All right, I got all the little doodads going to the depot. And I got to do that. There we go. Oh, great.
They're actually, I think, Tankfest, they've got a drone camera following the tanks, which is really cool.
Yeah, I saw that.
I
Yeah, it does
think
look
it's a
cool.
Churchill.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So-
they got the old drone camera following him around the arena. Wow.
Well,
Oh, no, T1.
what does that mean? Oh, unavailable because I still I have them all in the car. Okay, so this is what it looks like, guys. Obviously, it says unavailable because I own all 3. So I'm gonna have to go in and sell the TOG, and then rebuy it back. So I'll do that after we get done. Kind of curious though. Do I have? Is there anything on my TOG that I don't want to sell?
Camo. No, you've got the soft camo.
It'll just take the
Some
camo
Christmas
off.
free.
Anything you can just take
Yeah,
off for
Christmas
free, it'll
free.
just take it off. Yeah, there you go. All right, so I've got the red coat thing on my TOG.
Yeah, the Christmas tog.
All right, guys. Yeah, it said 3 tokens, Cliffy. I got 3. That's it, man. What else you got? Any parting shots for the people, my friend?
Well, everybody keep safe. I'm off on my vacation next week, and I'll be back in 2 weeks' time. Have fun next Sunday. I hope somebody comes in, even
Yep.
if it's just for a chat.
You
You
bet.
don't need to put your face up. Somebody comes in and you know, joins in, because it's more fun when there's 2 people.
Yeah. As I said, for
I've
anyone
heard-
who's
I've heard.
interested. Yeah, that's what they say. Thanks for
And,
going. Thanks for
I'll
going
get
there.
Lots of pickies. I get lots of pickies and
Let me know if you're interested. Send me a message or whatever if you want to come along for Coffee Talk next weekend. Next 2 weekends, actually, without Pilgrim. And then the 2 weekends after that, I will not be here as well. So we'll take a little midsummer break from Coffee Talk for the last 2 weeks of July. But that is all I've got from the left side of the Atlantic, Pilgrim. Oh, wait.
That's all I've got from the cracks.
Oh, wait.
Oh.
Messing
What?
up. We got a raid. Let's
Oh,
see if
yeah,
there's
gotta do a
anybody
raid.
trying to Let's go raid Stewie. We haven't raided Stewie for a long time. He's totally ignoring the whole
Yeah.
Tank Fest thing. All right, so
Cool.
now we're going to go raid Stewie. All right, now, from the left side of the Atlantic,
I'm from the correct side of the Atlantic.
2, 1, a raid. See you guys.